russosbrand.com, where the pros are the pros.
I don't understand why the business cannot get out of its own way. It can never do it, and it seems like it never will be able to do it. There's always going to be something where the business somehow wants to sabotage itself in a lot of different ways. It just doesn't, or it wants to overcomplicate something that's so simple. You just had Red Bull in the Monday locker room, right?
Yeah.
So it's not hard. He says that. Everybody says that. It is not hard to make a viable wrestling product that people can stay interested in. It's very, very simple.
What's it like for those guys I just mentioned? Aleister Black, Weepa, LA Knight, Jey Uso, kind of on his way back down the ladder, you know, after the Triple H Unreal speech of strap the rocket to you, and now the rocket is out of fuel, Rocket Man, you know, all these things. And all these guys are either they're above the glass ceiling and are pulled back below it, and now they want to scramble to try and get to the surface, or you're LA Knight and other guys and you keep banging your head against it for whatever reason, whether it's Seth's got to get his shit, CM Punk's got to get his shit, and you're still just, how do I get past the fucking gatekeeper? What's that like in the mentality of guys there right now?
Well, let's put this in context too. Even though I said they're not making $1 million plus to stay in that main event spot or even more, they're still making a lot of money. They're working their asses off. They're traveling a lot, doing more international tours than we ever did. Like in 1 year, they did more than I think my entire time in WWE or close to it.
UK, Australia, Saudi twice, right? Like
they're really grinding these people down. But I would say this: you get to a point where, and I think you can see it. Okay, well, and this is a trap. You come in, you get over. The LA Knight is the most egregious case of, like, literally. Yeah, you can tell. I'd rather him have that slow burn like a Savage did before because it used to be where once you touch that upper main event, the main event, how many guys never left it, Ben? Because you earned it all the way.
Right.
Now it's you start out up there and it's all, you win the belt your first match and you're done. And then we get vignettes 5 years later.
Well, that's ripped too. Belts are for guys who can't get over with characters. So if they come in and you don't have the character vignettes and shit ready, you put the belt on them and gives them credit in the audience's eyes. The audience doesn't know shit. But then that's going to be, you better get it really quick. Otherwise, you're going to get exposed and be eaten up by guys who want that spot.
I think the people are onto it now. People are smarter and people realize that, oh, Dragunov won the belt. How long till he loses it and we get the next guy with the belt? Right. That's the way people kind of interpret that. But getting back to talents, and we'll include Killer Kross. I think Killer Kross is the most visible case of this in years. LA Knight's right up there with him. And LA Knight should have been world champion by now because he's a little bit more about, a mix between Austin and Rock, but people are going to identify and know what they get. And the promo's over. This is over here, everything. You get to a point, you come in, you start to see results for your work, but then it's a false positive. And then you reach up to there, then you're knocked right back down. Then you're kind of hovering around here so they can keep you somewhat motivated to try to get back up into it. But then the money doesn't change. Then the push gets less. Then they go, well, they're great. Well, you haven't won a match in months. Now it's like you're trapped. Like, how can I get better booked to get more money? And then you just go, I guess I'm just cashing a check. It's just a job because they're treating me like I'm just an employee and a worker, not a member of the family. I'm just it's all over the place in a way, but you almost have to disassociate yourself from your own character and the company and check out like a 9-to-5 when you're home. Yeah. Easier said than done, but that's what you have to do.
And are you playing the game backstage?
It hurts way too much. It hurt you. It hurt me and everybody else. You put your heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears and everything into it. And you get less each time, almost like it's a joke on you. It's exactly what it is.
But you keep getting forehead touches and whispers in your ear, and it's all bullshit. It's not, you're not moving up or anything. And then when the guy who is somebody's third generation kid comes back, they jump right to the head of the line. And you're like, okay, again, right?
I don't have any answers about the nuts and the bolts of the current infrastructure, But by looking at Killer Kross, the place hasn't changed one bit since I was there, and when I was there, it hadn't changed from probably the 80s or whatever it was, or even Vince Sr. Vince Sr. would just do it smoother than Vince Jr. But remember Jesse Ventura said, I walked in there and I wanted this and that and the other thing, and Vince Sr. talked to me for 5 minutes, and I left the office feeling great, and then forgot what I was even mad about and didn't get anything I wanted.
Right.
They're all the
Supreme
same.
promoter worker. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm trying to think anything else from SmackDown that stuck out in your mind.
Was I mean, was that live? That was Raw, the live or a Velcro thing, and weird spots there.
So here's a couple Easter egg things because we asked the question, and please just put a note on this too. You guys wanted to come back talk about Braun Breaker, no selling, but so we're Lyra Velcro and Bailey. Bailey got the gimmicks out. Everybody's looking real nice. Good work, everybody. But in her vignette backstage, she's got a Hardy Boys necklace on. And we asked the question last week and the week before, what does it pay off when you start doing a split personality gimmick? You know what I mean? Like now we have mentally insane people on our roster, whether that we were supposed to try and make this a legit sport. So who knows what could go wrong, from that. It's hard to pay that off. Like, my mental health and wellness is back. Meanwhile, you had AJ Lee, like you're making fun of it and her stuff, but AJ Lee's cutting the promo about therapy in the ring that I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs sometimes, right? So the Hardy Boys thing invites the broken universe, which would work if you go crazy and you think you're something else. However, they had the Hardy Boys, and they're not doing the broken universe. So are the Hardy Boys, who just coughed up the NXT titles, coming back after their Impact run with their final match with the Dudleys? And will Bailey be influenced like by Matt and Jeff as, Devil and Angel or Wizards or some shit that are just all in her mind? And Bailey goes broken universe. That was just, she had that necklace on and made me think, where do you go with a crazy character?
It shouldn't make you think. I think it's just because she's a Hardy Boys fan, and that's the end of it. Let's not try to think when it comes to these people. Also, they had the broken universe, they had the Wyatts, they had the Fun House. They can't create anything outside of wrestle by numbers. And that's it. Even this thing with Bailey, like, what's it mean? And Lyra Velcro, what in the world are her facial expressions during all this?
Yeah, wow, that's the NXT super false positive that you're ready to go, and then also your homegirl's on the main roster married to Seth, so you get a fast track because I want to work with you and I'll bring you up, and none of that. Like that's all buddy favors. And who can she wrestle? Does she want it? Yeah. So she's going to use her leverage. I'm not hating on her being like, she did this and concocted this scheme, but welcome to pro wrestling and how you get ahead. But then when it's time for you to deliver the entertainment side and the fans see you're lackluster, then you just politics your way into a spot that you can't carry the water for. And that's exactly where she's at right now.
Well, the reason why NXT works, though, you might say it's a false positive, but you need a happy medium in the business. But NXT gives you so much encouragement without pointing out your flaws so much and trying to correct all the mistakes and everything. Whether you're bad at promos, have two left feet, you don't seem to get the pacing, the gears, and when to do things and when not to do things. NXT is great at protecting from exposing the flaws. So is ECW. There was tons of flaws in all of us in ECW, but Paul edited that down to something that people could be like, wow, all these guys are perfect to one way or another, at least for their characters. She's probably very, very capable. But going into the Shark Tank, even with the head bumps and the hugs and the encouragement, that's about 0.001% of what really goes on up until the night of the bell ringing.
Sure.
All the politics and the art stuff and everything. And that can be a big shock to where I would rather have at the Performance Center at NXT, maybe not testing you to the point of making you want to quit or not making you want to throw up, but but also saying, here's some. But then you go against The Office, who wants to keep that all big secret because they're secretly, or not so secretly, entertained by everybody scrambling and all the puppets fighting each other in the locker room.